Welcome to All Worn Out. I'm your host, Warren Meredith. On the show today, it's bassist J.P. Proulx of Ottawa metal band Rockin Engine. JP's got a million rock and roll stories. He's an Ottawa legend. Let's get into it with J.P. Proulx. 3, 2, 1. Hi, everybody. Welcome to All Worn Out. It's a podcast about music. It's a podcast about what you're passionate about. And it's a podcast about what our guests are passionate about. Yeah, me too. It's true. I'm so happy and excited today to welcome a legend from the scene. This guy is so cool. J.P. Proulx. Is it cool that I call you J.P. Jean Proulx? Or Jean-Pierre.
JP is good, man.
JP's good. Good. Okay, sorry. The JPP just confused my brain.
Yeah, it's the French thing, man. It throws you off.
Well, we'll talk about it a little bit because you got two guys in the band with the left in the name and a this and a that, and but it's cool. I like it.
The exact same names, you could really get confused sometimes.
Right? Yeah.
So you got the nicknames.
So
and they look different, so that's good.
Yeah, exactly. If they look the same, we'd be in really big trouble.
Oh man.
Okay, so
it's like twin sisters,
Yeah. JP is from the band Rockin Engine here in Ottawa, and they're an awesome band. I share close ties with them going back now quite a few years, and they're one of the bands I have always told people, if you want to watch professionals and if you want to watch how professionals prepare to get on stage and what they're then going to do on stage, Rockin Engine, because they helped me see a lot of it. You guys helped me see a lot of it years ago, how the prep work matters. And when you get on stage, you guys are dressed well. You're dressed in unity. You have a plan, and it comes out on the stage. It's not just playing a set, is it?
No. It's like a planned mastermind, but at the same time, we kind of go up naturally. We just except for like the shows what we did with all the actors and stuff.
Right.
That was a little different because Steve kind of choreographed everything. But it was a lot of natural stuff going on. It just really just came together, especially on Halloween at the Rocktoberfest. Like we were the second night, and that was the first time we did it. We did this without rehearsals, just Steve sent out all the skits to everybody, and everybody just really took seriousness to their role. And to us, that really mattered because
absolutely,
it's our baby. It's Steve's baby, really. It's like he was the continuation of the story of what we were doing. To combine all the horror stuff we're doing in a new album, bringing forth the second album that we didn't really get to do too much because of the pandemic.
Right.
It really took everybody out.
Right.
That album was based on kind of like pandemic stuff. That's why it was very Mad Max-ish. I had to look for Let It Burn. But it was like, yeah, that just took right out. Every pandemic base, like I'm saying, right? And it's like,
I dealt with it
and then
too.
this hits during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So talk about really
wild
mindfuck.
Yeah. Well, I remember
mindfuck.
Hey, we were going to compete for like $5,000 to help our bands out, right? In a competition, and we never got to do it. We were going to play in a big place, never got to do it. Little things like that just never happened.
Yeah,
because of COVID. Just like, yes, we were going to go together.
Yes,
we were going to go together and have them, but we lose those events because of COVID. Yeah. And yet I think you must have played some shows during that time at Brass Monkey with the glass in front of you guys, or
actually we did not.
Okay, well, you didn't miss out very much.
We got to do the first live event with Civilian and Le Minotaur in Hull.
Oh, love it.
Which was pretty well just the bands, the crews, like Cynical Sun.
Yeah.
Again, JS.
Yeah.
Outdid himself like 150% on that one.
Yeah.
Getting all the crew together, like TV, broadcasting, sound. You went through the whole bar. There was like machines everywhere. You couldn't get people.
The quality was insane. I remember watching it and being like, wow, so cool. I was definitely jealous of that event. Like, so well done. And like in every bit, like you said, like JS brought his professional abilities. Everyone brought what they have. Yeah,
I was truly honored to be part of something like that because really it was well done.
it was.
And it felt really cool too. Like, I mean, we played for each other. It was the bands, the staff. They served us some alcohol stuff. It was only normal. Like, I mean,
Yay.
but no
Folks,
bothering.
sometimes rockers and metal folk, we drink sometimes. It happens.
Well, yeah, you kind of. Yeah.
Right? See what happens? We
Pandemic.
get worn down. We get all worn out, folks, from this lifestyle.
Yeah, exactly. It's not we're going to get in trouble. Like, I mean, we had nowhere to go to get in trouble.
That's right.
You know,
That's
you're
right.
stuck to the confines of that bar, which was really cool. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
it was.
I'll never deny it.
We'll never see that. Like, I hope we never see that again. That time, what we
No,
went
no.
through, I hope we never see that again. Just, it was so bizarre. The only thing my mind could go back to was the ice storm of 98. That's all my mind had to like go to find like bizarre time where things didn't make sense, things didn't add up. So that was all my mind could go to. But the ice storm did not last that long. Not
No,
that.
but
It was long for a lot of people. For me,
Yeah.
it wasn't as bad. But like COVID just went on and on and on.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it first time, it seemed like it might never be normal again.
Oh, no, I know. It was taking forever.
Oh my gosh.
But when it opened up, man, it was just magical because Ottawa remained really strong. Like, all the local bands here are just so awesome.
Passionate.
Everybody did stuff. We thought of everybody. People contacted people. It's not just bands. It's a community. It's a circle that we have. It's like, and I'm honored to like know half of these guys, maybe more than half of the
Me too.
musicians in Ottawa. Maybe because I'm an old guy. That's been around
No,
for a
you're
long
not
time.
an old guy. You're
But
an
I ain't going anywhere
experienced.
soon. I'll tell you now, to you 19-year-old kids, I'll still give you a run for your fucking money.
You damn straight he will. If you haven't seen JP play
I may limp
live,
off at night, but Jesus Christ, I'll still come back tomorrow hurting, but I'll still keep doing it.
man, you're as real as it gets. And when I watched you play live the first few times, I was like, wow, that guy's got the energy, he's got the passion, he's got the skill and the look. And when you're up there, it's golden, man. And I know you know that because you've had you've made some great music, you've played in some great bands, and you're still making great music. So like, yeah, that's awesome that you did that and are doing it. I want to go back in time now with you and take you to the beginning. Woo!
Let's take some acid, man.
Yeah, man. For sure. God, man. Oh, yeah.
Get all Pink Floyd here.
Oh, yeah. So back in time, you grew up in Ottawa, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What part of Ottawa did you grow up in?
I was born and raised in Vanier. I
Mhm.
remember a little point. I think my parents, we went out to Montreal for a year or two, maybe when I was just a little kid. I remember seeing pictures, so I was kind of tied up with a leash. Run away, it's Montreal. Fuck, don't leave this kid running Montreal, I tell you. Imagine being raised there, be in trouble.
Oh,
But yeah, then we kind of bounced around a lot in Ottawa, East End, West End, and then ended up in Limoges, Embrun. My dad was a fireman.
Wow.
Kind of pulled me into the Scouts when I was up in Limoges and did that for like a year or two. My dad always followed along too because he would become a scout leader. Then he became the cook for all the campouts and then seeing my dad as a voluntary fireman, that was always an itch of mine. Like, plus having uncles in the fire department at Quebec side, one being a fire chief, so that was always like a spark too.
Yeah. Have you done that?
Yeah, I trained for 6 years, like back in the early 90s.
Cool.
But due to the minority status and white male from Ottawa could not.
It didn't work out at
It
that
did not
time,
work
man.
out. There was like that.
It's
That time in life where all the baby boomers were kind of boosting out and just new doors were opening. It happens.
Yeah.
It happens. I should have
Yeah.
just went paramedic because they're the only guys that didn't have a call. It was just the police department and the fire department that were getting that minority sting.
yeah. My great uncle was
Things happen for a reason.
They do. And my great uncle was a firefighter here in Ottawa, and he inspired people in my family to want to be firefighters, and they didn't get in. Like his nephew wanted to do it, and he couldn't get in, and then later someone else wanted to do it, and they ended up having to go do the paramedic program. Like you were saying, like it's competitive. It is really difficult.
Well, when I went back in the day, it was much easier.
Yeah.
Because you did everything through the city. You did your job-related strength tests, and then you went on, and you know, if you made it past the certain stages, they put you through Algonquin, through the 3 phases.
Okay.
You know, I did that for 6 years back and back, always passed. But then it gets disappointing after a certain while, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to get there. And I'm already working in construction. I was doing bridge work at the time for like 13 years. I had my first business kind of partnered up with some people. It was just to get all the jobs, to be on the tendering and bidding tables. But yeah, then so that's where it was.
But I saw you did carpentry at Algonquin, and so yeah, you're good with your hands. You're good with the bass. You're good with the woodworking. Yeah, man, that's cool.
All aspects of construction. Like, I mean,
well,
if you've seen our videos,
yes, I have.
Like,
and
if it wasn't for Joel and Steve-O, were like the creators of
I understand
some whole crazy stuff.
Yes, I get it.
Like the mechanical, like that wheel that was spinning in that torture wheel, I think it's 10 feet high. That thing was spinning, and they had a motor, and the monsters under your bed was a motorized bed that girl came down in with me and Steve underneath. They couldn't see where we were underneath. We could have easily got pinched, and I'm in makeup.
Oh,
I'm the only
God.
monster. That's why in the evil video.
Yes, the carnival one?
Carnival of Evil. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
What happened is I was just a security guard, which was kind of cool with me. I didn't want to do as much except for do my part.
Right.
Because in Monsters, the guys kind of gave me and the actress
a lot to do.
Well, I was the monster. So
yeah.
They did the
not much breaks for you.
So for me, it was like, perfect. I get to like just be a security
today
guard.
I'm just having fun. Not
let
as much
them
pressure.
enjoy it, because I enjoyed it the last time a lot.
Yes.
So it was great to see these guys.
Well, I love that you guys
see this come to life.
I love that you guys do music videos with the same passion, if not more passion than I like to do them. And it's just, that's something we share in common. Our band share in common is we love to do it. And what I love about it is like, we often have similar ideas, like without conversing, we'll come up with similar ideas, because I'll tell you, I have a folder here on this computer, and it's all for a circus music video.
Oh, cool.
And it was so planned. It was in the works, planned to go do a circus music video in Kingston, with a girl who lost her legs, and she does like gymnastics and stuff in the air and stuff like that. And so we were gonna do like a circus music video, and then it fell apart. It didn't work out. And then like a while later, out came Carnival of Evil, and I was like, that's cool. I'm glad. I'm so happy someone got to use this concept and like had success with it. Mine wasn't evil. Mine wasn't like the same thing. It was a circus, but a little bit spun differently, right?
Yeah.
But the artwork, when I saw the tent in that, I was like, oh, there's the concept work, you know? But the craziness of the world, it hits us. I think that's why the circus, right? We were thinking about COVID. We were thinking about how there was all these bizarre shows being put on for us.
Oh,
right?
absolutely.
It was a 3-ring act going on for a long time.
Yep.
So I love that I can watch your videos and see the passion, see the costumes, the sets, the work that goes into it. Because it's a labor of love. We do it because we love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And it is fun to watch, but we love it.
Even for like Let It Burn, like the time it took to put everything together, like scaffolding and the stuff we built at home, like our suits. Okay, I didn't really think my suit over because I was getting stabbed in the face throughout my set.
Ow.
Yeah, but it's all good, man. It came out.
Your face looks great, man.
Great. It turned out.
Yeah, you did great.
I think, if you get really close, you might see a few stab wounds somewhere.
Ow.
No, and plus I headbang. So if you look at the video and you don't see me like headbanging like this and like that, and I'm just straightforward, it's because the spikes were like right here.
Yeah.
If I tuck like that, I got stabbed. I got tucked like that, I stabbed. I'm like, really didn't think that one over. But it looked really cool.
Yes. And that's what matters.
Now, the tour with that would have had to really get tuned down, man.
But that's what I wanted to ask you about.
We never got to play with the shows.
All the pictures that I was looking at of you, your profile pictures, you've got paint on your face now in all these pictures, one after the other. And I was like, oh.
Oh, the grease paint.
I'm like, JP's like Kiss now. Like, you get on stage and you have the face paint.
Yeah.
Is that difficult? Is it annoying? Does it take a lot of time to apply?
I'm really sloppy at it because psycho clowns do not take time to take a freaking breath. This fucking shit. It's like going to war, right?
It's so true.
I went and did a show years back. It's a Halloween show. This one was back with the band Scarecrows. We did the first Scare Fest.
2006. Something like that.
Maybe earlier. We did the
Halloween show. I had
Scare
down.
Fest in Hull. There
was
at
my
the
gosh.
Garage on St. Louis, right across from my old dojo. Yeah, great. Thank God nobody came from that one.
Dojo. What do you practice?
I was back in the day. I was doing jiu-jitsu with Mark Shano.
Cool.
And I did karate here in Ottawa with
awesome
Earl Barber.
Yeah. Sorry.
Pretty crazy guys. But yeah, so when we played that show, I couldn't figure out what I was gonna do for makeup. Then this crazy idea. I'm just taking white makeup on my face, and I'm like, you know what? Everybody does this. Take it off. I put all the black makeup on my face. Then I take my hand right in the white makeup and go, boom, blast the Mohicans. Here we are.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? I think it looked cooler than Black as Blasted and Mohican, really.
It probably
If you look at my profile picture on Facebook, go back early, and I think it was one of my first profile pictures.
Yeah.
But it was really cool.
Yeah, I was going through all of them, and there's so many cool memories and shows. Like I don't know, I saw a picture of you, John Corabi, in 2011, and, stuff like that. People are still excited and always will be excited to open for John Corabi. And
well, the thing is, I never got to play with John.
Really?
I met him in Montreal, went back in the day with Dennis and Dion Wingle and Dan. And man, from that time on, we met many more times, and we all just got to remember. We got to stay friends.
Yeah.
And can't say I got his phone number. Hey, buddy, how you doing? No. But when we see each other, when he comes, we're always there. We always ask for each other. We always have drinks. We take some time to hang out.
That's so cool.
And it's not on a rock star, hey, okay,
but that's
he's honest, he's humble, and you would never think that, wow, he doesn't have the egos of the Motley Crue boys kind of.
Okay.
He's really done. He's level-headed. He's with the Dead Daisies, and what a rockin' band.
Oh, well, I wanted to ask you about that because you were helping them load in, I think, weren't you?
Yeah, I was giving them a hand
at Brass Monkey.
Yeah.
And I heard some stories. I heard that their truck was loaded up with enough gear to do a big show.
Oh, dude!
And I heard they had a very big costume or wardrobe case that had to go downstairs. There was a bit of work to do.
Oh, that took me a lot of convincing. That thing was, because when I found out that thing was going on the other truck going back to Chicago, I was like, I do this shit for a living too, eh? So I'm like, I look at their manager and I'm like, do you guys really need that? If we can set you up, if Scotty can set you up with some rack to just hang the clothes, would you be good with that? Well, it's going in the other truck to go to Chicago. So can we do that? So we just emptied the shit out of it, the booze, vinyl, whatever they had in there, made a nice pile, made it neat for them. She was happy. And that thing went on another fucking truck because that was not going down those stairs that night.
No, I heard it was 1,000
You didn't have the
pounds.
right guys. If you have the right guys to do it, yeah. But when you don't, and it's a tight place to go down stairs like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that full.
No, thank you.
Empty was like a real bitch. Oh, yeah, she was heavy.
Yeah, I bet it was. And so you've done that for a lot of bands. Whenever I got to do JJ Wild.
JJ Wild. I
you
was
were
her
there.
chaperone. I was basically driving around. My brother was helping me do all changeovers for you guys and changeovers for them.
Yeah. And for years, like we were both of our bands were blessed
shared, yeah.
with the fact that, you know, we had some action with Rebel 1017 and we got to hear our music on FM radio here in town, which is just a blessing. It's just a blessing. If anyone gets to experience anything like it, it's just, it's like a warm hug.
And just kind of on the same topic.
Yeah.
And I'm blessed too to have dealt with Miguel, Danny, and Dan and Adam.
Yes.
Before you came in.
Oh,
because
yes.
they were correlated reality.
Yes, they were.
And before it became Taming
Yes,
Siren.
they were.
And I remember playing shows with my old band, Great Panic, sharing stages. But I got to share stage with Adam many, many years before that with other bands. And then he graced the stage with me with Scarecrows in the
Hardworking guy.
I think 2008, 9, I guess.
Very hard worker.
And then in that era, and I did some little solo stuff where we tried to do some stuff. Didn't really work out, but it was fun because he played guitar. So that guy was a phenomenal musician too as well.
Yeah.
Sad to see him gone, but hey.
Hey man, bands are, you know what it's like. You know what it's like. And it's difficult. God, I think about every band member that I ever had, to be honest with you, like probably once a week. Like it's
oh yeah,
it's hard to describe, but like I know you understand because you've done this longer than I have, a little bit at least, and I know that it's painful. Yeah. It's like I love people that I get on stage with. I love people that I make music with, and when it doesn't work out for whatever reason, and it can happen, it sucks. And it's like a divorce. It's like anything like that. It's not fun. I'm not over here going, yay. And they're not over there going, yay. You know, if there's amicable splits, that's the best. If somebody is amicably leaving because they have something else to do in their life, okay, I'm okay with that. But the other ones really hurt. And I'm proud of everyone who was ever in Taming Sorry because we've always worked hard. We've always worked hard. Yeah. And worked hard to maintain like a level of respect for each other. And I know you know what I mean. It's not easy, but yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'll always be grateful to Adam and thankful to Adam because I was out of music and I was done. And then I was just having fun. And I was in a silly competition at Mavericks just singing metal because I thought it was kind of funny. I wasn't really back at all. And Adam was there and he came up to me and asked me if I'd come audition. So I'm eternally grateful to Adam. Don't ever think that because things in a band don't work out means that I don't love them or that we don't like each other at heart. It's like, it's so deeper than that, you know? But at the same time, the show must go on. And in October, we're talking about it. When I come back in October, I'll be retooling. I'll be retooling Taming Sorry.
There you go.
With Alex Pellerin, our bass player, and Miguel, we're going to be filling in a couple of roles and looking to come back stronger than ever before. Because
looking forward to hearing it.
As you know, it's commitment. It's commitment.
Oh, absolutely.
Sacrifice, drive.
Yeah.
And as long as everyone is, like I've said it before, if everyone in the boat is rowing together in unison, if you're the Olympic analogies, I love it. If you're jumping off that high diving board in synchronicity and you're just in sync, things are going to go. Things will just go click, 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 click. And all of a sudden doors will open. And I've seen it. That's why I know this is true now. I've seen it. I've seen it with you guys. I've seen it with me. I've seen it with other bands, the Peptides, all genres. It doesn't matter what the genre is if everybody is just together.
Exactly.
And then as soon as one guy puts their head up and goes like this, all of a sudden it's like, whoa, what just happened? What just happened? We were trucking along there. Yeah. But it only takes one guy in the band to kind of take their foot off the gas and things can sort of start having issues.
Man, I'm not even going to get into that one. But
you see what I mean?
Not with this circle, believe me, that I can't ask for anything better.
I know that. I'm with. But I said that before.
I could never see, like Rockin Engine is who you see.
I know. You guys are legendary that way.
Like, and I'm not saying I'm the best. I'm not saying this or that. Like, it's like, yeah, I love these guys.
Yeah.
Well, I came into this band. I didn't come in as a guy that just was taken in. I came in as a fan.
Yeah.
Because I heard them. It was Kevin Jones that set me up with them.
There you go.
Because at that time, like I was telling you that little story there, when I left that one band and went through a suicide episode and was nasty, and I needed to refine myself. I took almost 2 years off the music scene.
Me too.
Because I was not happy. What happened there put my mindset towards music as in, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're all a bunch of fuckhead fucking musicians. Everybody's just users. Because I put myself around those users.
Yes.
I put myself around the misery.
And then you bought into it. And
yeah.
And as things kind of go downhill, right, it becomes easier to fall more and more into believing that shit won't get better and that you've made all these mistakes and these mistakes can't just be erased.
Made a lot of mistakes. Because the sad part is I had booked a lot of shows. I was kind of like working as the booker. I was pretty well doing everything like for the band. And we wanted to do some traveling. So I booked all these shows. But then I go to play with my buddies in Montreal at the Piranha. And here we are. We hired a drummer. Well, we brought a buddy drum that my singer was friends with. And we couldn't get a hold of him. Here we are, parked in Ottawa for 3 hours. Here I know we're going to be late. Finally shows up. It's like, dude, where's your kit? I pawned it. For the damn pipe.
Yeah.
Damn rock. I'm like, what the? Can't just cancel. No, man, these guys are expecting me over there. We're pre-headliner.
Wow.
I call my buddies and I get up there. I'm like, I'll deal with it when I get there. I can talk my way out of a friggin' lot of situations.
Wow.
But, anyways, I get there and I had to do a lot of wheeling and dealing, and then ended up getting used. He could use his kit. I even had to borrow the damn throne. I even had to borrow drumsticks. Sad, right? When your own drummer can. So let's just say that night, the shit's brewing, and I'm talking to all the band guys of all the other bands because they're not talking to anybody.
Nope.
They're just looking for more drugs and looking to get in trouble with the friggin' homeless people outside.
That's right.
I'm inside enjoying a good night. So let's just say I had to go around the whole bar, figure out, hey, you guys are all the band members in Montreal. Can you go see all the drug dealers and say, don't sell nothing to these guys because I got to drive them home? That was an interesting evening.
I'll bet it. I bet it was.
Within the next few days, it was just like barter, 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 barter. I didn't even bother telling them it was done. I just canceled all the big gigs coming up wherever I had booked.
Yep.
And apologized. I had plenty of time. They had plenty of time to rebook. I was lucky. And then I just pulled the carpet.
Yep.
I couldn't do it.
Fair enough.
So those are the things that kind of drive you away. It's like I was into the past drug addiction, and that was the whole part with that band. If drugs ever came back, I said, I'm out of here.
Good.
Talk about a way to find out.
I've been there too. And
I do crack in the back of your car.
Dude, we've had a lot.
Get them out of your band right away. They'll never change.
There you go, folks. And I'll tell you, we have similarities that run through our musical experiences, depression and darkness and dealing with this type of stuff. And I think obviously now you're with these guys who are incredible. Steve O'Leff is a great dude who works incredibly hard. And I don't know anyone in the musical community that doesn't think incredibly highly of everyone in Rockin Engine, but absolutely Steve. And also you've got Stevie Leff, who is your guitarist.
Yep.
And always awesome guy as well. And Joel Bilodeau, I always see him smiling. He's always happy to be doing the Rockin Engine thing. You guys are a great unit. But I think you learned that through, like you said, you've gone through some hard experiences. And you've been in that situation where you've had 2 or 3 members in the band not in the boat. They're not rowing at all anymore, people. You're rowing the boat for them. They're just coming along for the ride at this point. Yeah. And if you've been in a band or in enough bands, you've been in this situation. Yeah. And oftentimes it is drugs that is pulling the people away from the focus. Yeah. Because alcohol, we do work in an alcohol environment. Yeah. And I think it changes the thought process of everything. And I tell young musicians all the time, young performers all the time, What are you addicted to? Performing live or drugs? Which is it? Which one do you want to?
You got to pick.
Which one do you want to share for the rest of your life? What do you want to have? Because they don't go together forever.
No,
and they ruin it. They ruin it. It'll kill it for you.
I've seen that.
Right? And you took years off, and Kevin Jones was helpful to you. I took 2 years off. Kevin Jones was helpful to me.
This was something he was thinking.
So, like we are, you can see the community and like the patterns in music and the things that go on and how we have worked hard to try and find the people that we know will support our dream the same way. They have a dream, it's equal to our dream. That's the only way you can do it, is put both feathers on the scale and both of them weigh the same. As a vocalist, I can't go around my band going, this song means more to me, I'm the singer. Bull crap. If my bassist doesn't love it as much as me, I'm in big trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Like big trouble.
Because there's your groove.
That's right. And everybody needs to love the song for it to go anywhere. If one guy in the band's like, I don't like that song, guess what? It's done. It's not going anywhere. Yeah. It's weird.
And I watched one of your interviews not too long ago, too, and talking about going into the studio and being humbled.
Oh, yeah.
That dude, the way that interview right there, that whole segment, that was like perfectly said. Because it's true, man. Like we've worked doing with Joe Lico, the last 2 albums, and
Dark
pretty
Moon.
well all the videos for the last 2 albums, and the first album, which he didn't record, but he did the videos. And then, where was I going with that?
Joe Lico, and about what I said before about my comments on being humbled in the studio.
Yes. Yes, bring me back to the studio. Sorry.
No worries.
Ready for it. I got so much up there.
Yeah, it happens.
It was magical because when we went to do the drums, he brought us to Liverpool with Steve Foley.
Love it.
Which Steve Foley was my producer when I recorded with Hooked on Karma.
Okay.
And not going to get into some stories with these guys, but this guy is something else. He's a magical producer. Anybody that records with this guy, full on, not just drums, could possibly get somewhere, because you're not a Juno judge. You're not a panel of the Junos for many years. You've seen his records on his walls.
Many years ago, I worked on a TV show, and we did the gardening on his property. So, and his wife, who was, at the time, she was artistic director on one of the TV shows I was working on. So that's how I met Steve. And then I ended up taking my band many years ago, like maybe 20 years ago. I took my band to go see Liverpool and meet Steve and just take a walk around. And I remember him showing us the mic room and showing us all this stuff, and me just being like, I need to get to something like this. Like I need this vibe, this experience.
Well, I'll tell you a really cool story, is going way back. This studio, to me, like when I went there with Hooked on Karma, it was not just a little bit of a dream. I wish I would have did it with the better band.
I hear you.
Because when I was in high school, we had this really awesome music teacher. Like I got into the music class and they gave me a guitar, and like I'm like, 6 strings. Really kind of just wanted to break it, just 2 strings off, kind of like Nikki Sixx and them did, And because I grew up in my house, it was very like my dad's side was religious. My mom's side was kind of like French, Quebec, not really religious, just kicks you in the ass and fucking
just swearing about the religious.
Kick you in the ass, deal with it later kind of bullshit. Instead of dad's side was more, you fuck around, I'm going to spray holy water on you, you motherfucker.
Oh, ow.
So yeah, it's like I come up with some really cool horror stories with shit I grew up with, man. And they were nothing bad either. So, but
did you go to a Catholic school? Are you?
Yeah, pretty well.
You were like you were a little Catholic boy. Yeah, I find
then
like
I hit the hard knocks when I got to high school, because then they didn't want me in Catholic school anymore.
I hear you. When I was
didn't work.
I was in public high school, and when the Catholic boys transitioned into our public school, they were all punk. They were the ones with the dyed hair, the mohawks, all these different things. And we were like, what's going on? And it was because they weren't allowed to do anything in their school before. So now they were like, oh, the dress code has changed. The rules have changed. And so they were the badasses. They were rebelling. And it was like the rest of us who had a little more freedom to do as we wished, we weren't rebelling nearly as much. Like those were the punks. In my high school were the Catholic boys, which was cool. Yeah.
No, it was fun. Like, I mean, no, so my story is in that music class. Our teacher decided, okay, we're going to learn all these songs. We learned like Flip Flop Fly, Blue Suede Shoes, Saving All My Love by Whitney Houston, and all these different bands with this thing. So bringing in another musician from the local scene is Frank Mador, the drummer from Ottawa's Enforcer.
Oh, cool.
Also a whole many other bands. And so this is where our upbringing came, because he was my first drummer.
Okay.
I was supposed to play drums. And then we met on the bus one day and he's like, hey, you taking music class this year? Yeah, I think I'm going to go take drums this year. He's like, no, man, we need a bass player. I'm like, did you not see me in last music class wanting to smash the guitar, man? I took the two teachers to get the damn guitar back. That just didn't work. He's like, no, man, the guitarist will teach you everything. All right. And then I went from there. And then our teacher was just like blown away. He goes, all right, you got an attitude. You're a bass player.
Nice. I love
He says
it.
I should have clicked on that, and then they let me take the bass at home, the bass amp.
Yes, I remember that too.
Look at me. I didn't have the long hair.
Aw.
Could you trust his face all the time? Fuck no.
Aw. I was going to say yes.
But see, that's the thing. They don't make teachers like that anymore.
I know.
Today, sorry, it's not just the parents' fault for our kids being fucked up today. Because teachers aren't paid to take care of us. Because what they did for us back then, and we were fucked up shit, man.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
You were allowed to go down the street, take a baseball bat, beat the shit out of you, and the cops would come and say, hey, you can't do that. Does it mean you got charged? Hell no.
Wow.
So why is it fair today? Because there's more people.
Yeah.
It's getting nastier.
Yeah, you have to, someone hit someone in the head with a baseball bat. That's what happens eventually, right? Like, it's everything. You're so right. Like, this community of Ottawa, you existed in it when it was much smaller,
Yeah.
And that's what I tell my parents, too. I'm like, you realize, like, you existed here when the population was half the size, like, less than. Like, my dad was born here, and the population of the city was probably 200,000. And now we're, surpassing 1 million. So it's like,
I remember when that came around, that was like,
right?
Things,
so there is
mega city bullshit stuff.
That's right. We are dealing with it. We do have the traffic cameras that people want to, don't like either. And it's going to become more and more impersonal, folks. That's the world we're living in. Less people to deal with, whether you like it or not.
Watch it on Meadowlands here, man. Believe me, I got caught twice. I'm dealing with that. And as I say, I watch where I go, how fast I go now.
Oh, yeah, man. I watch. Oh, gosh.
Okay, let's get back to that story and end it.
Which one?
About the studio.
Oh,
we got into the big street fight shit now. So now that music teacher brought us with all those songs to Liverpool Studios.
Hell yeah.
This is way before Steve now. I don't even remember if it was called Liverpool.
Yeah.
At the time. I think it was, I forget what it was called actually. It's not Ambience because that was on Rideau. And so we went there and did these recordings. And our teacher was so cool with us. He let us record our version of Seek and Destroy. Because we were big Metallica fans. And like how many times, like our school let us play like Seek and Destroy, For Whom the Bell Tolls, Escape by Metallica, Show No Mercy from Slayer, Reanimation from Sacrifice, like stuff like that. Like,
oh yeah.
How cool is that?
Man, I wasn't that cool at that age. I'll be honest with you, JP. I wasn't that cool. I was so uptight. I hadn't smoked a joint. Listen, folks, I did not smoke a cigarette, a puff. I did not smoke a puff of a joint until I graduated college. After I graduated college. And I'd already worked on several television shows. Before I was like, the joint was going back and forth in the cube band like this. And I just reached down like, boom, fuck this shit.
It's time to grow some nuts.
And there was a new Warren that was born. because
Oh,
I
I bet.
started taking the stress differently. I started dealing with stress differently. And suddenly I wanted to do music and release music. But you're so right about that studio and about the need to get in there, and it's an amazing feeling. I remember Steve Foley telling me back in the day, like, oh, you know the famous rapper Nas and NAS, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, he records here all the time, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. He comes. You know what? He comes at like 3 a.m. He told me that the guy will call and show up at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and then he pays up front, of course, and gets like, they just bring fruit for them, bring some water, whatever, and they're thrilled. They just go in there, lay down what they want to lay down, and they leave because it is that good of a studio.
Oh, yeah,
and it is that well equipped. So, like, I remember thinking then, like, what? Nas? Like, this guy's like a legend. Like, what the hell do you mean he's recording here? You know? So there is a lot of cool stuff going on in Ottawa that people just don't know about, which is interesting as well.
I don't think that guy needs to advertise.
I don't think so.
Being a Juno...
No, probably not.
Like, when you're in that, like, level, like, I mean, I think it just comes to you.
Yeah.
And plus, he probably has all these, like, regulars that, you know, I know it's not, like, come on, music is not a cheap game.
No, you should...
But if you want to sound good...
Well, JP, that's a whole topic there. Okay.
That's the magic. Because you can sound great at home, too.
Music...
But the only difference is the production. You're the producer. You're the engineer. With Joe Lico, sir, if you're watching this, thank you for everything you've ever done for me, not just the band. Because when I went in the studio, I'm working with 2 mega friggin' guitar players. And sometimes I just decide, okay, a bass line is just not good enough. So Joe helps me to restructure. And then I kind of pluck away at it, figuring some extra notes that a guitarist would play, not a bass player. And I did it all in a 5 when we did it originally all jamming on a 4. So then I had to restructure that again and bring it back to the 4 and relearn what I did on the 5. So just to give it a different dynamic, right? So without Joe, it would have been really difficult.
Well, there you go.
Know, because we still did it in an amount of time that just...
Are metal hooks very different than the rest? Like,
no, it scales.
Like, because
it all comes back to blues.
Is it just going a bit faster? Is it tempo mostly?
It's just playing with your time signatures. Like, I look more at the guitar players because I'm very. I've played metal for years.
Mm-hmm.
To what, like Slayer, but the normalcy you're hearing today of like Lorna Shores and Mastodon and stuff, that's some technical stuff. Like, I mean, I was a pretty well, like, I wouldn't say I'm a lazy bass player, but I mean.
Sounds like you're an honest bass player.
Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want to go fucking ape shit, but then you just got to go staccato. You just got to go boom, boom, boom. Sometimes there's a time for that. You know?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, doesn't mean I can't make you fucking mosh with a.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? It's like the energy. I've played blues, I played rock, but guess what? Mm-hmm. I look pretty fucking weird in a blues band headbanging. Honestly.
Well, maybe.
I hear you. The people said it looked cool because they were fucking tanked. And I think there was about 10 riots that night.
Yeah.
That's another story, man. Oh, God, man. The first day is the beginnings.
You were in a signed band. You were signed with Warner once upon a time, weren't you?
Yeah. But that was just a distribution deal. It wasn't massive. It was very, very short-lived.
Didn't go too long,
you play with drugs, friends.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said.
Yeah. It's that line.
I don't regret it. Sorry. Well, I don't regret the shit.
You can't.
Because know why I don't regret it? Because if my kid does it, I'll sense it. But it took my mistake to know it. And hopefully I can help others with what I went through.
That's right.
I'm alive. I've had ODs. I've had stupid shit. And don't be stupid. It ain't cool. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up in an era where you looked at Motley Crue and Next thing you know, like, fuck, that was cool. Yeah. When you wake up with a needle in your arm, you're all fucked up. You don't know who you are, you know? Is it cool anymore?
Mm-mm.
No,
You know?
because you can't get away from the goddamn disease.
That's right. It's scary at that point.
And what? Sorry. Maybe for some it's a disease. It's a self-inflicted disease. It's a selfish disease.
Yeah.
Because why? No is a magic word. We chose to say yes.
That's right.
We chose to say no to stay within it.
That's right.
I took a hard hit, but guess what? You got to fall before you pick yourself up. I still make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Pandemic came. They said it. People will slip. A lot of things will come back.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. So people don't. You got addictions, get out.
Yeah.
Don't let it bring you to a prison cell. Don't let it bring you to abusing people like partners and whatever, creating a monster that was never there. Just don't, please.
Yeah, talk to somebody.
Like me or not preaching to you, just stay the fuck away.
What the hell don't you like JP for?
Enjoy the music. Enjoy the music. Music is passion.
It is.
The stage, for me, honestly, has been a savior. Like
me too.
When I was away for that year and Kevin reaching out and Rachel telling me, you got to get back into it. And like you'll find your glow again, type of thing. I don't know if that was the exact words, but yeah, it was. Because when I reached out to Steve, it was just automatic. There was no audition. It was just like, we like it. We like you. We don't know me. And since then, I've had one fucking slip. And that was during the pandemic in the beginning.
Yeah.
And after that was the biggest scare of my life.
Yeah.
Since my suicide attempt. And then after that, you know what, dude? I won't regret it. Never touch it again.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
I didn't touch the needle, but I've been, I had troubles myself with addiction, and there's nothing fun about it after the party's done, and the party's never that long, and it's not even that great. It's just really, you're just excited about it. You're just excited about having fun. You're just excited about doing something. Yeah. Do something else. Get excited about doing something else.
You got to go for lyric titles. Scorpions. Passion rules the game.
Yeah, definitely.
It's all about our passion. We start tinkering with booze, start tinkering with drugs, start tinkering with even the sex shit, man. Like,
sure, you can get addicted.
Get a woman. Yeah. Keep her at home, man. Stay at home. Like, there's always something good to go back to.
Yes, it's true. Find a significant other that you can trust in. Yes,
because that fucks with all the other shit. Like
it really does.
It's a trap, and passion rules the game. But these things also destroyed the passion. Look at Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, when he went on his bouts with heroin. Come on, Nine Inch Nails was at the top of their damn game.
Yeah,
and he lost complete passion.
Gone.
And he said it. You read his book, you read his interviews, you'll be honest. And music, that's the biggest, darkest demon, because we never know when we're going to fall in it. Who's going to give you a drink?
Lane Staley.
Never take a friggin' drink that somebody offers you. I'm an experience. Never. If it's not closed and you don't open it, do not fucking take it. Especially being a musician.
Yeah.
A lot of people act like they like you, and a lot of people are jealous out there. Just want to hurt you. You can be the nice guy in the world. Just don't. Believe me.
That's good advice.
From experience.
Yeah.
Believe me. There's always somebody out to, not always.
I got
paranoid, or
someone put something in my drink one time years ago when I was at the Heart and Crown with my buddy, and we both had it in the pitcher, I think, because the two of us looked at each other and we both went, I'm dizzy. Like, I've had like 3 sips. I'm dizzy. Are you dizzy? I'm dizzy. Are you feeling like you're going to pass out? Maybe. We both jumped in a cab, got back to my place. I passed out going through the door. So going through the door into my apartment, I just passed out. And when I woke up, like, my leg was sticking out through the door. And I was like, what the hell happened? And yeah, it can happen to anybody. You have to keep yourself alert. And I think what you're saying is so important. And thank you for sharing all this with people, because we are just people and we all have demons and we all fall down.
pretty tough sometimes.
Yeah. It's
Don't
about,
be ashamed to hit the ground and then pick yourself back up.
that's what it's about.
Cling on to those you love.
Yes.
Believe me, I didn't do that. And when you got to start from rock bottom, yeah, it's another.
It's hard, right?
You know?
It's a slow journey back up for sure.
Yeah.
It's a real slow tick, tick, tick
And
back
I was
up.
lucky, man, because like, I mean, shit, not many people come back. I wouldn't say I'm unscathed, but like, I mean, it came back with issues. Like, I wouldn't say necessarily health, but
I think you can
Well,
come
it's-
back with issues. What's important is you came back with issues, but that you're aware of them. And
now
a
you
lot
got tools to work on.
right, a lot of people come back with issues, but they're gone. They're gone, folks. They've done the damage, and they don't even know. They don't even know the
needle's
damage.
done.
Right?
What was that song?
Yeah, that's right, Neil Young.
Needle and the damage done.
Yeah, man. And yeah, people don't even know it's done. Like, look at Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses, right? The damage is done. It's never going back the way it was.
Like I said, everybody's different.
Yep.
Everybody can do like a line of cocaine socially one night here, then, and never become an addict. But then if you have an addictive personality, I was able to be social for a bit. Oh yeah, toot here and there. Next thing you know, I had to do it alone because it was addiction. It was just took one toot.
Yep.
All depends what that guy's cutting it with.
Good point.
You could be dead.
Good point. People
You
don't
could be
think
addicted.
about it.
Or, yeah, there's not many other.
It's not good options. It's not really good
it's like jail.
options. Yeah.
You either get released or you get out in a body bag. Stay away from all the shit that I'm bringing there, please.
The only time I ever went to jail, I was drunker than I've ever been in my life. That's the only time I ever went to jail or anything like it. You know, we make silly decisions when we completely decide to let our judgment go and just give in to whatever. I want to ask you about some more Rockin Engine stuff here.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you got the 5 music videos out. Carnival of Evil, Let It Burn, Broken Angels, Monsters Under Your Bed, Room 185.
State of Nature.
State of Nature.
Hiding in Darkness.
Hiding in Darkness.
And
7.
we got, what was the first one we did with Cameron Dunn?
Okay, so that's like 8?
Was it Roll the Dice?
Wow.
No.
It's not in my notes. I had these.
Actually, here, I'll let you know. When
you got like 8 of them at least then, which is so cool. So you must be planning to do more then, I would think.
I'm hoping that we will.
Yeah, like, it's expensive, right? You have to like plan. That's for me always what comes down to is finding out how you're going to afford to do all these things. But I mean, gosh, they're good. They're great videos, and you can see the fun you guys are having. And I talk to people like Trevor Phillips and these people who support the bands in the city, and they are so happy when they get to go on stage with you guys, and so thrilled about it. And I talk to them about it, and they light up, and they have a great time. So I'm glad that you guys let them do that.
Oh, it's like, I mean, I love watching the opening acts. I love watching all the other acts. It's like, that's why it's fun sometimes when we get to be the openers.
Yeah.
Second band, because we get to enjoy the show.
Sit back and enjoy the night.
We get to enjoy it.
Nice.
Like this year, we've been pretty quiet for the summer. Not that we're gone. We're just rehearsing. We're working on stuff. It's nice to take a break sometimes.
I wish I wasn't.
We don't
do
this. It's not like we got like commitments.
No, we don't have to. That's the thing about.
We do it because we love it.
That's right.
And if we rush shit,
it won't be good. Well, for me, it won't be.
We're not in this mega sign band that has so many months to come up with an album.
Exactly.
Metallica is probably the luckiest band because they get to take the time they want.
He's been in one band.
They do not want to give you junk.
That's right.
So they take the ample time.
Tool does that too.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's bands who do this. They think about it like, oh, if I release gold, it stays gold forever.
Oh,
It
absolutely.
never changes. It's
No.
always gold.
Yeah.
But if you put out shit, it's always shit and it never gets better.
Exactly.
So like, do the work, put it in, find the good studio, get humbled, get your butt kicked.
Yeah.
That's what I tell bands. Bands will say to me, why do you want to invest? Why do you want to do this if you don't want to compete? Well, I do want to compete, flat out. Whether I ever will or not, I want to, and I'm going to try to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that passion, like you said, is what keeps us going day to day, keeps us excited about life, keeps us wanting to take another bite of the pie.
And not just that, the contests are great. I remember doing all the money shots.
Oh, yeah.
And back in the day, I don't know if you remember Emergenza.
I don't think so.
It was like a contest to go to Germany. When I was with Scarecrows, we got into this one quite a few times. We always made it pretty far, too. And this one, we had the original lineup.
Nice.
Like a very, very original. Like I started Scarecrows with Jerry, like in what would be 92, 93 maybe. Like, and it's still going. Like, I'm happy for the guy. Like, I mean, it is what it is. It's hard to give up something when you got a lot of stuff on the table, right? Probably has tracks that we wrote a long time ago because we used to keep like track of everything. And when we recorded at Distortion, which Leslie Howe owned, which is the guitarist that used to be for One to One.
All right.
Got an angel in my pocket.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, but yeah, like recording live to that. Now, when you go tracking, man, that's cheating today. But it's cool for what's being come out. Because back then it was like, okay, guitars, you fucked up. Okay, the whole band has to redo it. It wasn't just go in, retrack.
So when you were first recording
on the floor, man.
Yeah, your first experiences were all live off the floor?
Live to that.
Folks, that's why JP's good. There's some things the industry shouldn't have changed. And
if you listen to old Beatles tracks, okay, if you got a good system, seriously, turn down the music. Tell me what you hear. You're going to hear all the cars, all the honking, all the people on the streets in Liverpool.
Yeah.
The magic of recording, you couldn't hear that. You turn all that down. And I did this. I went to a seminar, record industry seminar years back, and they were making us listen to this. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Because it shows you where the industry went.
Yeah.
You know, you record like crazy ass albums out of your basement today that you would think Bob Rock did. Maybe.
It depends on the person. Yes. Yeah. There's some people.
With the tools here.
There is some people who can. Yes.
The Damn Truth, great people.
Right.
Working with them every time.
Beautiful people.
I'm going there on the 31st to see these guys again.
Yeah.
I love Tom. I love the whole bunch of. They're all just.
They're the most passionate.
Well, I worked with them with you guys like last time as well at Bronson, and
they're amazing.
Last time they were at the Brass as well.
Yep.
This will be the first time I'm not working for them because there was always events for Rebel, which I always love to help Todd. And thank you for all the free tickets.
Well, we always like to see you. And every time, I bet you every band likes to see you. I bet, like, when I saw you with JJ Wild, I was like, oh, whew, thank God. It's a friendly face. It's a familiar face. It made me happy to see you, you know, like, because you know the scene. You know what's going on. I trust you. If any of us said, hey, JP, we need this, we know that you would be like, oh, I know that shit. No problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I always like seeing you out at those events. Like, it's a good thing. And gosh, we're coming to the end of this, but I haven't touched on anything. I haven't touched on anything.
Well, we can do another one.
We're going to have to. Like, goretastic retro horror, modern thrash metal. That is what Rockin Engine is describing themselves as. You need to go listen to Rockin Engine. I personally love them. They will always be very near and dear to my heart for reasons that go beyond music. But the music is awesome. And yeah, get into it. And I'm not a metalhead. I'm not. I'm a 70s belter. That's what I am. You're right. And my style doesn't really jive with metal. But I, at one point, really wanted to see what it would sound like. I wanted to push my voice. I wanted to experiment. And yeah, it wasn't for me. It wasn't my genre. But God, I love what you guys do.
You'd be amazed where I get my inspiration. I don't even get it from metal.
Where do you get it from?
I listen to fucking shit like fucking Michael Bublé.
Yeah.
Adele.
Hell yeah. Well-written stuff, man. Well-written stuff.
Like jazz. I went to see Diana Krall.
Oh.
Stuff like that. Like, if you're always going to be stuck in one box, don't forget, heavy metal comes not from just heavy metal.
Oh.
It comes from fucking blues.
Uh-huh.
It's a rock and roll.
Yes.
Elvis did not create rock and roll, and he was honest. He said it himself. The black man created rock and roll.
And when they asked Little Richard about whether he was pissed off at Elvis for Tutti Frutti's success, Little Richard said, "Are you joking? I love Elvis." He said,
made millions because
he
of Elvis.
made me money. And after that song came out, I got to go in all the clubs that wouldn't let me in because they're racist bastards. But they'd let me in after that song. And Elvis knew that he was going to help this guy out by doing this. So people try and paint things in a certain way.
Rock and roll came from soul.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Rhythm, blues, soul. Why do you think he did a gospel album?
Yeah.
It was one of my favorite albums.
Hell yeah.
My dad was an organist in churches when I was a kid.
Oh,
my
that's a big deal.
So I didn't have, and he was a snare drummer in the military. So I didn't have guitarists in the family. I didn't have, one of my other uncles on my mom's side in Quebec played accordion. Come play bass and play folklore when you've never done it.
Yeah.
I know metal chops.
Yeah.
Diehard metalist. But know what? He had fun. We winged it. It's this note, it's that note, it's that note. I'd follow. Ooh.
I've been getting
talk about learning when you've never done folklore or any kind, especially French folklore.
Oh my God.
Like every style is different, right?
Yes.
From Irish to French.
That's right.
To Acadien.
That's right.
Wherever you go, every music's different. Just like metal.
Oh, it's cool. Well,
metal is everywhere.
Yes, it is.
Every country. Man, come on. If you've listened to Sepultura, you tell me that's American metal? That's fucking Brazilian.
There you go.
You know what? It's magic because everything, Ozzy said it once. Everybody always says Black Sabbath did pretty well all the metal, all those progressions and everything. But Ozzy said it. World circles. World goes around. We all borrow.
Yeah. Oh, we have to. There's only 8 notes.
He could have just said, no. We created it all. No, he didn't.
Oh, well.
He doesn't say, I created this, I did. No, man, fucking the world goes around. We all borrowed from it.
I still think...
We're still borrowing from the Beatles.
I still think Gene Simmons turned off more people than attracted by being as cocky as he was. I think that all the marketing that Kiss did was genius and brilliant, but his attitude at times, I do believe, threw people off because he needed to show a little bit of humility at times.
Yeah.
And, that's what I love about what you're talking about right now is the artists who realize it's a gift to be here. It's a gift to understand that music is such a gift and we get to be a part of it. It's just a joy. It's just a joy. If you find yourself thinking about it in an egotistical way, step back.
Yeah.
Step back. It's not worth it. You'll ruin it. You'll ruin it for yourself.
Because for me, that's where it comes from. Kiss.
Hell yeah, man.
Growing up, I grew up with Elvis Presley in the household.
Yeah, me too.
Liberace.
Yeah.
Roy Orbison, the Beatles. That was my mom. My dad was more like Liberace, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is cool because, you go see Liberace live.
Dude.
You're going to get a whole new...
He was wild. No one dressed like Liberace.
Not just that, the piano, he had another guy in the background. He'd play piano. The light show was not some guy doing a fucking light show. Yeah. There was another guy playing the piano, the same thing he was doing. And that was the light show was following.
That's so
whatever he keyed, man, that was the light show. I was like, but it wasn't lights.
Wow.
Well, it was lights in the water, like a big water fountain on stage at NEC, man. My dad took me to see that with my mom when I was probably, not even 10 years old. And I remember that vividly.
Yeah.
My my third brother that passed away a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Man, he was just born.
Whoa.
So I remember that's where my dad took my mom to kind of relaxation, and he took me.
Your family always looks so tight. You guys, when I see you guys, maybe it's just because you guys have such strong resemblance to one another, good genes. But you guys, I always feel the love between it. And again, when I see you at the events and you have your family member with you, I like it. Again, I'm like, oh, I trust those people. It's a family. And yeah, I love it.
I'm either with Steph or my son, Nick.
Yeah.
Like, well, my son, me and him are like very like close. So when it comes to concerts, we're always in Montreal, and we do not. If it's seating, we're not doing it. It's got to be the mosh pit. I'm 53 years old. Shit, I said my age.
Dude, you've done some good living. Dude. Okay, so you were talking about 92, 93 doing music, okay?
Yeah.
I think I was 7, 6. Like, I was, I'm a baby at that point, man. Like,
I picked up the bass at 12. I think it was 13 in high school. And I think by 15, I was underage, and they were hiding me in the back at Barrymore's. I could play, but it was like, okay, but you can't be in the crowd. You got to hang out in the little dressing room in the back.
Yeah.
I don't think the cops knew where that dressing room was back then, because you'd go up like on the snow, like Barrymore's, when you go up the sides.
Yeah.
You go up this side. You go up before going up to the women's washroom. There was a downside, then upside again. That was the dressing room. It was right by the offices. Yeah. So it was pretty cool. Like, I mean, I got in really early. Well, my dad always told me to, like, if you're going to hang out, if you want to be a good musician or try and get somewhere, hang out in the places where all the good musicians hang out. Become friends.
Oh, I had a girl on there.
I did not learn bass from going to do lessons. I picked up off guitar players. Then I taught myself how to do tabs.
Okay.
I took a bit of lessons in school, like how to do some patterns, whatever. It was guidance. I decided to take lessons because I'm one of my old drummers, a very technical guy, and I was like just trying to make him happy. I'm not a slapper. I cannot.
You don't do the. You don't. What's the guy?
I love Stu Ham. I love Billy Sheehan. I love all these. Even Billy Sheehan doesn't do much slap.
It's like a Red Hot Chili Peppers thing, right?
Yeah,
where he keeps the engine going the whole time.
Like, I've done some, but it's just, for me, it's like, if I hurt my thumb and I'm in construction, I gotta really think of that. So
you double need your hands. Yeah, man.
I damaged this.
Not good.
I still have these 4 picks. Or I got a pick. I like the sound of a pick.
Okay.
I can still play with my 4 fingers, but I just like that. The ripping it does. You just can't. I'm not Cliff Burton.
Okay.
Cliff Burton had 4 picks.
Oh.
And he used 4 picks. Dickens, Steve Harris, Maiden, he looks like he plays 4. He plays 2. But he's messed up because he plays with these 2. So you see 4 fingers going, but he's plucking with 2. He's just magical, that guy. You got to really watch him. But he can fluctuate. Like, you can playing with these 2, depending on what he's attacking, right? The lower he goes on that neck, man, he's playing with those smaller fingers.
Okay.
Because it's the bend in your hand, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't play like with a low bass. I play very low.
Okay.
A real bass player, if you really take lessons and you really want to get technical, here's your height. You judge by your arms.
Well, I see the guys like this, right? They hold their hands up in the air like this, and it's just like this.
That's the proper placement.
Pluck thing that they're doing.
When you go like that,
yeah,
that's where your neck should be. That prevents carpo.
But that's definitely not how Duff McKagan or whatever his name is from.
We want to look cool,
right? Exactly.
It does a hell of a number of your
on your back,
neck, and shoulders. And if you've seen our videos and shows,
yeah, definitely does.
I've always been a headbanger. Do I think I'm going to regret that one day? Yeah, no. I'm feeling the pain. From time to time, it doesn't help. It's not just that.
Yeah.
I'm a construction worker. I'm in drywall. And
I hear it from Mig.
Always shoulders, and it's like, and flooring. It did. I was younger, man. That wreaks havoc on your neck, your back, your shoulders. Like,
yeah, Mig comes to jam, and his hands are like covered in cement still, and stuff like that. And like the guy I can't believe the work that some people do, because I'm not. I've got small hands, folks. I'm just not equipped like some other dudes in this world to do the type of work. I fall behind a bit,
Fucking bear mitts here.
Yeah, see, look. Okay? You see?
Boy.
Look. Do you understand? Hands, folks. Ooh. You see what I mean? You got to know your advantages in life. You have to find your edges. You got to find what helps you ski down the hill faster, right?
Yeah.
So it's never been my thing. I've always had so much respect and admiration, like for people who can do like carpentry or build things or anything with their hands. Like it's just because I've always been so bad at it, you know? I wanted to ask you, are you guys gonna do a new album next year, maybe?
Well, we're writing stuff. I'm not going to give out too much. I know you got Steve coming up too, right? I think.
Oh yeah, Steve's coming in.
So I think you got him in September sometime.
Yeah. So he'll give me another update.
Then I know I can tell you we're working on a song.
Okay, good. Okay, all right, good, excellent. I'm excited.
I maybe it's going in the same theme of where we were with the horror.
Maybe it's not.
Maybe it's not.
Hey, I like that
element of surprise.
That's exciting. And it sounds like you're still going to have fun doing it.
We're always going to have fun. Like, I mean, like to me, music is about, well, like, it's about the music.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, at the end of the day, it's that crowd.
Oh, God, yes.
Man, for me, like, I remember selling our asses. Like, we didn't have the internet. It was like, we'd run around the city and just post flyers and then watch the guys take down our flyer. Okay, he's not coming back for another week. Go post a fucking whack again. And like, we'd bring in crowds.
Yep.
No internet.
Different world.
And it was so much fun because everybody liked it or loved it and had fun because they didn't have the internet to ruin it by going say, let's go check these guys out. Guess what? Half the band you see on there live that sound like shit was probably recorded with a shitty thing.
Yeah.
On a shitty phone. Because I took some Motley Crue footage in Toronto.
Yeah.
And man, it sounded friggin' phenomenal. And it was a good song.
Yeah.
And Vince Neil actually sounded great. I see it posted from somebody on a different angle from close. Sounded like a friggin' beached whale. But know what? I know he didn't sound like that. So I do not believe, I've heard some of my recordings, stuff that we did live, and I'm like, it didn't sound like that.
So it's like,
and then you hear another,
if you got to
from
do
a better
show,
phone, and it's like, whew, okay, I sounded like way out of whack, way out of tune, but I know we weren't.
Yeah. So when these artists tell people, don't bring your cell phone in, not allowed to bring your cell phone and no pictures, no this, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Because you don't know because everybody's going to post. And and everybody's so judgmental.
And arenas are so hard to sound good in.
Man.
So hard to sound good in, my friends. Like, I've experienced it firsthand. Without reverb, you don't sound that great anymore. And it hurts you. But the truth of the matter is, it's so difficult to sound good in a big arena. And it takes a lot of work.
And the magic of a band is when you're on stage, okay, we're playing with digital now. We're playing with in-ears and stuff. I play some big stages in all kinds of weird places.
Yep.
We didn't have any of that. We had monitors. Sometimes monitors, bye.
Yeah.
It didn't work. What's for shit? I'm hanging out at a guitar amp and I'm hanging out at the drums. I need to hear this vocal cue. Now, guess what? I got no monitors for vocal cues. Nothing. So, and it was magical because, man, you really had to know your shit.
I got into wars with crappy bands in the beginning of my time, and what would happen is I'd go to war with the guitarist and with the amps and with everything, and I'd try and sit my voice on top of it. And I'll tell you something, folks, I got good at it. It took me a long time, and I think most singers, they go, turn your shit down. I didn't. I was just too... I don't know what was going on, but I would just try and elevate my voice above it. Yeah. And it got to the point where it was sort of something I got good at, but it took a long time. And I think that's part of the growth of a singer with live bands is you have to learn to get that mesh right with your band so that they're not blaring you out of it and you can hear yourself. Yeah.
Well, especially when you're doing shows too, like whether you're dealing with digital or what, you're never, even with digital, we've noticed that depending on the room you're playing, in a rehearsal place, like your stuff is set for yourself for on stage.
Yes.
The house takes care of the house. We take care of us. You get into a different lobby, a different fucking venue room. Doesn't mean everything sounds as right. Because now there's wiring issues. Everything's Wi-Fi. Just takes a little something. Oh, fuck, I'm a little louder. I'm this. Or like we're not. Like, so that you have to reset levels sometimes, right?
Yes, you do.
So and it's just like playing a big stage.
Yep.
Man, you're going off that volume and nothing replaces a bass amp kicking me in the back of my head.
I agree.
And
agree.
when I don't have that, it's a different, I still have the dynamic because it's experience, it's love. But at the same time, you don't have that kick in the back of the head. Like Gene Simmons back in the day when they used to do the Kiss sound checks.
Yeah.
You know, the candelabra he has?
Yeah.
On stage? Well, back in the 70s, he had that. And it was set at a certain distance.
Okay.
Now, the volume was set to when those went out.
Oh.
Then it was placed in this proper place. Then they adjusted the levels to that thundering bass that blew out the candles.
Oh, so cool.
Now, Black Sabbath did not like fucking Kiss. Because when they were opening around I think it was a Sabotage tour or Sabotage or Never Say Never tour. If you read the stories from Guy Reserve Butler, Kiss were the first band to use pyro and all kinds of shit. And they were opening up for Black Sabbath. Looked at their label and they're like, yeah. These guys can't. Like, they got to get these guys off the tour. Same thing with Blue Oyster Cult. Kiss, they did not want Kiss on there because then they came back and then they were opening up for Kiss.
There's a lot of stories
Sabbath,
like this.
And then Sabbath gets in that interview. Same interview, Geezer gets into Van Halen because now Gene Simmons covers Van Halen.
Yep.
Van Halen is now, and they tell like, okay, you got to get us a different band.
Yep.
That like, I mean, shit, they're kicking our asses here. They're using pyro. Oh, what the fuck's that shit? Didn't know existed.
Hype, folks. It's a hype war.
You know, they started something that nobody does. You know,
and then everybody did it. And then everybody did it.
But they still never did to Kiss.
Kiss is legendary.
Rammstein.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's insane. But guess what? It's just a big machine and a lot of fire. Now, Kiss, it was like the flames, the this, the that. It was a combination.
Yeah.
There wasn't much pyro or there was at Rammstein, but it was a lot of fire and smoke. That was the trip for them. That was the trip. You know, it was like a factory.
Yeah.
So a factory's not going to have much sparkle, and there was some to a certain extent. But when Kiss, like I could show you some pictures and stuff, they started something and they went out, they were doing it even harder.
Yeah. Their
last show, they dumped an extra $1 million in pyro. If you look at the December 2nd New York show, I worked that show here in Ottawa, and unfortunately, we got canceled, but we were the last Canadian build in Ottawa, full build. Like, we were waiting for the friggin' fire marshals to do the pyro check. We're waiting for Kiss to do the sound check and meet and greet. So, but we get told as soon as we were done and we didn't leave. That's like, oh, I'm happy you didn't go because show's canceled. Somebody in the party's sick. Next thing you know, it's like, my dream just came true. I met Kiss 6 times in my life.
Wow.
I took part of the Detroit Rock City movie twice, once in Toronto, once in Hamilton at the concert shoot. And guess what, man? Gene Simmons, maybe, yes, he's got an ego.
Oh, yeah.
He is not, at least he's not a bullshitter. He knows he's got an ego. He worked for that ego.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's true.
Shit that he may not be the best, but guess what? What they created, Ace Frehley, everybody looks to Ace Frehley. Everybody goes back to Eddie Van Halen. It's like I said, Ozzy.
Oh, yeah. They cut it. They've earned it. There's no doubt about it.
He may say some stuff, but he recorrects. Like,
have you heard my story about him giving my friend a nipple dip? So my friend, she paid her money to go backstage, and he signed her boob, and then she was like, "You nipple dipped me," and he was speechless. And she put the video up, and it went viral because it's one of the only times I've ever seen Gene Simmons literally speechless. Like, he looked at her like, "Oh," and you're like, "Oh," and I was like, "Sundance, you got him. You got Gene Simmons," because then he looks at her and goes, "Can I use that? Can I use that?" And she's like, "Hell yeah," you know. So like, anyways. Listen, JP has a million stories. I'm going to bring him back on. I'm going to bring JP back on because there's so much we could talk about, and we're going to talk about. And get out and see Rockin Engine. I'm glad that Steve Olef is coming on so we can go over some Rockin Engine stuff again, because it's just, God, we could have JP on full time. That's the truth of it, folks. He's got enough stories that it would just, it's amazing.
But before we go, I just want to thank all the local musicians that I know. If I missed some of your band names, my apologies. I'll probably get you on the next one.
Aw.
Winter, Seven Snakes. Man, I'm not going to mention too much. Like I said, right now I'm on a buzz because I'm really happy to be here.
Hell yeah.
But like, thank you for all you guys. Like, I mean, like I am 53. There's no end here. The end is when I kick that ugly bucket.
So John Allaire told
And
me.
hopefully it's when I'm on a stage performing for any of you crazy fuckers, because that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
Ozzy hates the fact of retirement because he's not going to die where he wants to die.
That's right. In battle, he wanted to go like a Viking.
I'm not a famous rock star. I think what I did in Ottawa, I'm not. I look at myself as we're little blips.
We are.
But at the same time, we all have a little shine. And I hope that it left a little bit of an impact on the music scene.
You have left a massive impact on this music
I got
scene.
size 13 feet.
You have
Look at these
already,
fucking beat.
and you keep making an impact. It will continue. And your best advice today was to get out with people and learn to play better because you're playing with people who are better than you. And I had a person on here the other day. She said she goes to Nashville. Why? She wants to write with people who are writing in Nashville, who write every day. She wants to learn from guitar players who are playing every day. Look at John Allaire, who was on a couple of days ago, every Saturday at Quinn's. If you want to go learn how to write songs, if you want to go be in a songwriter circle, just immerse yourself. There is so much in this city, and cool people like JP and cool bands like Rockin Engine. So thank you again, and thank you out there for watching, and we will see you next time on All Worn
This is how I end an interview.
Out.
Give me a hug, Daddy. I love this guy.
Bye, everybody.
Support these guys.
Bye, everyone. Love.
Peace.